Good morning, Richard Eckley here. Happy Thursday morning to you. Another week flying by again. We're on a Thursday, so we're on a Mindset Thursday on your four keys to a healthier and happier you. And I was listening to a trade seminar the other night, and it was saying there on your mindset how it's important to actually study the information, the things we sort of receive. So many times we sort of get information given to us and we just accept it as the truth. We think, oh, someone said it to it. Oh yeah, it could be true. But it's always worth to study it. Study the person you're sort of getting the information from. Study it where they're getting their information from, to follow it through to get it back to the sort of core source of the information. If it's sort of something important to you, obviously if it's been local news or gossip, don't worry about it. It's just what's it called? Just yeah, it doesn't really matter. But if it's something important, something you actually want to research or something you're interested in sort of developing, just check it out thoroughly and see what's information's there. I mean, this on a weird side thing. I was watching the program on Nikola Tesla. He's an amazing bloke. He died back years ago. He actually developed the electricity we have today. He sorted that out, and he developed so many different inventions. And he was doing a program called the Lost Tesla Files, which is interesting on history. But the weird thing on that was they were sort of going through all of these files and stuff that had been he'd been doing, and part of it was they said he had some homing pigeons just to get some information going back and forth. He was being sort of watched by the CIA and stuff like that. But they spent half the program on homing pigeons, on if they were home or not. And you think, well, why on earth? What's that got to do with this major man? His amazing brain. He had so many inventions, and they spent half their program on homing pigeons, which I think the producer must have liked homing pigeons to put it in the program. But you just think, why? I mean, that's sort of something I'm really interested in, was Tesla and his life story. What he did in his life is amazing, the inventions he made. But then they just go off on a tangent. They're not sort of following, they don't sort of follow the real path of the man, if it was. It might just be part of the program, but there we are. I've gone on a bit of a side tangent there, as I say. But you need to sort of study, as I was saying, the information you're interested in. You need to study it and study where it's actually coming from to find the source of it, to make sure you're not getting information from someone who just sort of read a book and thinks this is good, and hasn't really sort of implemented the stuff in their own lives or in their own sort of mindset, and they've researched it all thoroughly. So it's not, as I said, it's always best to study it and not just to be a follower. Don't just follow someone for the sake of following them. If they're like on social media, oh, I follow them and they're an amazing person, but you don't actually know who that person is. It's just an image you see on the screen, but you don't actually know the in-depth person. So if you're sort of interested in getting sort of some business or some information or some health or that sort of thing, you need to go to the source, to the core of it, and find out what the information is, and study that actual subject to find it. I heard a great story the other day. Was this bloke, and he was going to work. He was the foreman at a local factory, and he was walking down to work, and then he stops off every morning and sort of checks his clock goes past a clockmaker's window, and he always checks his pocket watch on the clock in the shop, then goes on to work. And he's been doing this for years. And then this one morning, the clockmaker was just up the front. And he said, "Oh, excuse me." He said, "I've noticed you every morning. You stop and you adjust your pocket watch to my clock in the morning. I just wondered why you did that." And he said, "Oh," he said, "well, I'm the foreman down at the factory at the end of the road there, and I have to blow the quitting whistle at 5 o'clock. So every morning I set my pocket watch by your clock, so I know it's right to blow the whistle at 5 o'clock." And then the clockmaker said, "Well, that's a bit weird. So I've been setting my clock by your blowing whistle at 5 o'clock every evening." So they were following each other. They were going around in circles. So you need to check where your information is coming from, what information you're actually getting. Or because if you're following someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and you're just following followers, and that could end up in a bit of a mess down the road. So it's always worth to check your sources, study something, get the proper information, go in depth on things to really research it, and then you know in your mind, and because it's all down to us. It's no good saying, "Oh, I just followed them and they did it wrong," and then you did it wrong. You can't just sort of blame other people. You need to be sort of self-reliant, self-responsible, and then we study stuff and learn it and develop it as we go. That's my little thought on mindset. I hope you have a good day today. You got any value in this? Please drop me some comments below. And my name is Richard Eckley, and you can get in touch with me at rickeckley67@yahoo.co.uk. All the best.